So, hello, this is my first video attempt at doing pretty much anything like this, and ignore me as I put my hair up. So, I am Marble, at least that's what my username is, and I am today doing some watercolour in my free time, because I have a lot of free time. So, watercolours, brushes, general doodles. At the moment I've just been doodling with this, some pictures of some friends' OCs. They didn't take very long to do. And we have another, but these ones I'm kind of stuck on at the moment in that I don't really know what I'm doing with them. So, for the time being, we're letting those dry out and we're going to do something a little bit different. So, I am going to be drawing, or painting rather, another one of my OCs. It's a little bit simpler to draw. Now, I'm not an expert at watercolour. I don't profess to be one. So if I say stuff and you're watching this thinking that's a load of bollocks, then yeah, quite happily you believe that, because quite frankly I am self-taught. My uncle is a really good watercolour painter when he was still here, and a lot of his stuff, like, he left me brushes, so many brushes. Those are even like a handful of the brushes which I own. I have the rest that are on the floor because I don't actually have room on my desk for them. So I know only a little bit, and this looks like complete crap. So yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm mostly self-taught. I picked up a few tips and tricks. I don't know when I started watercolour. When I was quite young, I used to do a lot of pencil sketching. So I don't really know. I think I probably learned it in school, because we used to have these little black things in school. I don't know why. I love them. They're like the best. I know you can get like watercolour paints, like in the little tubes, and they're not anywhere near as good as the blocks. The blocks are so much better, at least in my opinion. I think they're a lot more, you just got a lot more control. I mean, I don't really know if you can mix the watercolour tube paints, but you can mix colours anyway in a palette, so like one of these. Not that I use this, I generally use this, and I always have leftover colours that I end up using, and then I don't have enough of that colour because I've used it up mostly last time, but who cares. So anyway, I am going to be drawing one of my OCs, because they're pretty much my favourite thing to draw, and this is going to be Glory. Some people who I roleplay with will probably know, because they would have seen Glory around, and she is normally a worm. In most cases she is normally just a little tiny purple worm with eyes, because I can't be asked to draw her. Well, that's not true. It's because she's able to become like a snake and stuff like that. But I do like drawing her because she's one of my more cartoony characters. She's a lot simpler to draw. She's just like a blob head with big eyes and a big mouth. She doesn't generally have a lot of detail. She's got big noodly arms and these like massive massive hands, because I can't draw hands, and I'm not the only artist in the world who can't draw hands, but I can't draw hands, so. But anyway, that's who we're drawing. So I start out most of my watercolours like this, with a pencil sketch, and then I colour straight onto it. I don't generally erase the lines, like even this there, you can see the pencil lines. Well, I hope you can see the pencil lines. I'm not sure how good this computer is, but I will just draw right over. If there are any leftovers, I'll rub them out afterwards. But most of the time you can't see them underneath all the paint, which is quite surprising. I guess you can kind of see them under there, but meh. Like I said, I'm no expert. Right. First thing first, I have to make a colour for Glory, because she is purple. And that is probably the one colour I do not have. So I'm going to use a big brush. I always use my hand. I really shouldn't. I should probably use a tissue, but I always end up getting covered in paint when I do these pictures. But I always use my hand to make sure my brush isn't too wet. If that makes sense to anyone, you don't want your brush to be, I mean, you want your brush to be wet, but you don't, if your brush is like soaking wet, you just get a really pale, horrible colour runs everywhere. It doesn't work. So I'm just making some purple colour. My colour theory isn't very good. This is kind of purpley. So obviously purple is red and blue. And you think it would be that easy, but it's not, because it never is. I mean, when you're drawing digitally, this stuff is so easy, because you can just pick whatever colour you want. When you're actually having to make the colour up, and you want the colour you want, it's pain. Because you also have to think about, like, you have to make sure you've got enough of that colour. Like, Glory's got a lot of skin. So I'm just adding more water into this paint. Not because I want it really watery, but because I want to have enough quantity. And like, these blocks aren't like a tube. You can't just squirt it in and then mix it up like acrylic and you've got that, you make it up beforehand. Watercolour is essentially water based. So paint everywhere. So you can't like just squirt more in and keep making it up. It's really annoying. But you kind of have to add a lot of water and then make your little palette yourself. Actually, it works better when it's dried out. Like if I left that, it would evaporate and I'd have like these little, like in like these little blocks of colour ready to go. And then the colour's more concentrated and it's the right colour, but right. I don't think that's the right colour, but we can see this is my testing sheet, which you should always have. That's so pale. Because, well, I mean, you want to be able to know what the colour looks like. Now that's pale because it's watery, for lack of a better word, but that's okay. It's quite like a pale pink. But when I'm just doing the base of the skin, it's good because it's better to work from light and then go up. I don't know why I'm using this brush. Now, this brush is probably too big. So I'm going to use a small round one. I don't know what brush is best for this, like a flat one or a round one. But I generally stick to round brushes because I use flat ones for background, not normally detail. I'll use this one. They're already quite wet because I've already been using them. Again, I don't want my brush to be too wet. Right, that's ridiculously pale, but that will do. But anyway, so first thing I'm going to do, because I'm not doing a background for Glory at the moment. If I was doing a background, obviously that's like the first thing you do. And you can do all these techniques, like where you wash down the paper and just like cover it, but I mean that's good for like backgrounds. It's not so good when I'm trying to be precise, because obviously the colour runs. Like if I was doing something like this, which isn't finished because I've got to do the details on, then I have a couple of brushes, big ones. I have a bigger one than that actually that my uncle left me. Whitewash the whole page. And yeah, and then you can just like blend the colours, and it works really well. On the other hand, I'm not doing that. I just realised I haven't drawn any clothes in, so I'm going to guess that this line is here. Now, I haven't really planned this drawing out. Like I said, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, which is not the best way to go with watercolours, because there is no, I was talking to a friend the other day, there is no Control-Z button in real life. If I do something wrong, it is a pain to undo it. I mean, you can dab away at the colour or the tissue if you're quick, but and it's pale, but it's still kind of hard to mess it up. Especially like how I like to use really pale colours and build up on pale colours. Right, so I've done that. That's general skin tone for Glory, just to start it out. It will get darker the more I use it, and the more concentrated I make this paint. Right, so I've got this now. I'm letting my brush soak it up a bit. Obviously the more, see, like the more paint that's on this brush, the darker the colour is. But you don't want it too dark, that would ruin it. So I mean, we can now like you can just go over it with the same colour to make some shading. It will obviously make it darker the more layers of paint you put on it, and it's always best, I think, to work quite quickly, because once the paper is wet, it blends better. It's easier to like move the paint across. So once you've got that first layer on, it's easier to do all your shading, because everything blends so much better. So we'll do some little bits of shading. Now, like we said, I haven't thought this through, so I'm just kind of going with my gut on where the shading is. This is not the way you should draw. You should plan your lighting out beforehand, blah blah blah. I don't do that. But if you want to learn how to do it, Google someone else on YouTube, they probably do it better than me. Right, now, what are we going to do? Let's add a bit darker colour into it. Like, so the more concentrated you get this paint, the less water I put in this, the more concentrated this paint will be, and the darker the colour I'm going to get. If you want a light colour, you want water. The more water you add, the lighter your colour is going to be. Keep thinking that's the line, but it's not, it's just a mistake. I'm just going to keep going with my shading for a moment. Because, like everything in Glory is exaggerated. Even her attitude is exaggerated. She is happy, hyper, clumsy. Yeah, we'll go with clumsy. A bit of an exhibitionist. I do say so. She's just meant to be a fun OC. She's meant to be someone who's really fun to roleplay and play. That's why I made her. Because I have RP OCs who have like tragic backstories, who are really deep and confined, really self-obsessed, who are just have so much drama in their lives going on, that she is got none of those things. So it's nice to chill out. She's a nice chill character. See that's not blending because the brush is dried out. There we go. That's the best thing with watercolour. My favourite thing is like, if you have two colours on top of each other, get a wet brush. Just blend them. I guess it's kind of like the blur tool. I just spam blur. I don't really do that anymore. I just spam the watercolour tool now. I actually do like the watercolour tool. But that's probably enough for the skin before I ruin it. Now, I'm probably bad because I would normally do more facial features before I do the clothing. I can't really decide what colour clothing Glory would have. It would probably be another shade of purple. Let's see if I can get this dark enough. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Oh well. See, this is still really pale. The other thing you can do is blend on the paper, which is great for like if you tested a colour and then it still kind of comes out differently. The problem is when you test colours, sometimes the couple of tests you do still comes out differently, just because of the amount that's on the paintbrush. You have to be really precise. You have to really know for like the amount you've got. Just pain. So much of pain. But I'll do. Right, I want to make it slightly darker. So we can go with a nice dark blue. Probably need to blend that bit. This is where I've run out of things to say. She doesn't have anything. You know how people say like you can be quiet or you can be quite eccentric? Like you can be a really quiet person who never talks to anyone, or you can be one of those kind of like an introvert. You can be an introvert or an extrovert. I have found I am neither an introvert or an extrovert because I have a tendency to be both, depending completely on the situation, which I think is probably right for most people. Like if you're really passionate about something, you can become really loud about that one particular topic. Right, I'm going to use one of my favourites. This is something my uncle did leave me. Another thing is, look at these. Look at how tiny this brush is. It's not even the length of my finger. It's adorable. And also it's as thin as anything. I do have other thinner brushes, but somewhere. Oh, here. Like this one. It's a bit tufty at the end, but this one's just so much better. I think they actually came from like a travel case. I don't really know. But they are the best. It's just so nice for like details, little details. They are just brilliant at. I'm going to mix a different kind of paint. I want something dark. I want like a dark purple, because I want to like outline Glory's features. I don't want to do it in blue, so yeah, add red, but we don't. Thing is, this time I don't want to add either water, because I want it that dark colour. So the only thing I can do is like really get in there with my paint with my tip of my brush. I want it because I want it to be kind of like black. But as one of my primary school teachers told me once, you should never use black in a painting. Which, I mean, I don't know how true that is. I think you probably can use black as long as you use it correctly. You probably just add it to colours to darken them less than. Look at that, that's gorgeous. It's like so dark. So let's test this. Yeah, that's the kind of. I mean, I would like it a bit darker, but it will be darker if I get it in the right amount of it. Right. Another thing you should always have when you're painting is tissue. Because if you if you do something wrong, it's the best thing to kind of like undo your mistakes. Tissue, testing paper. I actually have watercolour paper at the moment, which is why I'm not really that bothered about getting it so wet. It's really like thick and like bubbly, and it's to like hold the water, not hold the water, but like it keeps the water on the page a bit better. Oh yeah, see, look at that. Because Glory is super stylized. I mean, you could probably do like, you could probably paint this and then ink over it, or you don't ink it and then paint over it, because you would be screwed because all the ink would run. Unless there's like a way to do it without that. If there is, I do not know it. I actually want to learn more about watercolour and about just general painting techniques. So I'll try that if I can, in my free time, which I do have a lot of at the moment, because I do not have a job at the moment. But at the moment I'm also so tired of that, just looking for work. Because it's such a downward drag. And my neighbours are getting back. Right, So we've got the eyes. We need to get the nose in. I can never really remember what Glory's nose looks like. I know she's got like a tiny nose. I mean, she's probably very Mary Sue looking. She's got big eyes, big nose. No, big eyes, tiny nose, big mouth. Very, like not very original. Yeah. I have, like I said, I have other characters who... Well, that's not very good at all, is it? I have other characters who look different, who look better. I have characters who have big noses and ugly faces and I mean, it's obviously something I never used to do, but like I found the more I've done stuff, I found the more important it is to make your characters have faults and flaws, especially in their looks, because nobody looks perfect. Well, perfection isn't technically a real concept, so... Give her a little tooth. Because Glory is a snake, and she has big teeth. Now, I'm going to get like this really intense purple for her eyes. Not like a dark purple, just like a super, super bright purple. Like almost luminescent. It's pretty good. I'll probably do. Because like, maybe white. I only use a lot of white while painting because I try to just make my colours super pale by making them more dilute. I mean, you can use white. Obviously you can, but I just don't use it very often. Just like me personally. I mean, everyone's got their own different style of doing stuff. So let's see. See, that's kind of like... I don't really like white. I don't like that. It's not very transparent. Big eyes. Like I was saying, it's good to have flaws in characters because obviously no one's perfect unless you're a supermodel, and even then that perfection is all in society, it's not real. There is no real such thing as perfection. I should probably give her an outline, maybe. I know you can do it with shading, but because of the way she is, I always give her... She's always suits a nice solid, like, block outline, because that's... She's obviously realistic. Like if I was drawing Freddie or Sam, then yeah, I would go just shading, and it would take forever because shading does take forever. Glory, I don't need to do that. I can probably get that a bit darker and then go over it a bit more. Like I said, it will be better when this paint dries. If I leave this overnight and it dries, it will concentrate down and I can use it again tomorrow and it will be that much darker. I mean, I don't really like how the nose has turned out. You can just turn it into a little ball. Ball nose. So yeah, I always like to do the face details. I think it's because they're more therapeutic. It's probably not the best way to go about this kind of stuff. I just tend to do things the way I like to do them. So far, so good. It's looking very purple, which is about right. Just everything purple. Sums her up completely. So what else can I tell you about her? She'll probably be more interesting for the people who know her. To mention all the things about her story, blah blah blah. So obviously she can shapeshift into a snake. She can also shapeshift into this basically giant woman snake. Is it Naga or Nagda? I don't know how that is actually pronounced. There's mythological beasts that are got the bottom part of a snake and the most part. Because like I've done some research and I know like they've got different. I know like they can be called Lamia as well, but Lamia is actually a name I use for another species of character I have. But when I went more into it, I actually found that it wasn't ever a species of creatures so much as it was this lady in mythology. I think it's Greek mythology. Who I think was cursed. I can't remember without looking at the moment, but she was like cursed because she ate her children, or she was cursed to eat her children, or something along those lines. Basically, she was kind of like a form of vampire. But I found that they can also be referred to these creatures, but I don't know. But anyways, you can become that kind of creature, but it's a lot bigger. Big form. But actually, she was based off some Indian gods that I was looking into at the time, or even more different species of fairies and stuff. So I was looking into Indian. Well, they're not really Indian. They're Hindi, aren't they? Because Hindi is the religion. So Hindi gods, and obviously they have a lot of gods, being polytheistic. Is it polytheistic? I don't know how to pronounce these words. I'm not used to speaking them. I'm just used to normally just like saying them, reading them. But anyway, so polytheistic gods, and one of them, I mean, there's a couple of these snake god kind of creatures. Well, from what I remember, there's like maybe 2 or 3, possibly more. Like I don't have the actual stuff in front of me, but there's a snake goddess whose basically for poison. If you pray to her, you can stop getting helps protect you getting poisoned against snakes or something like that. And I think that one is Mansa. There is another name, or it might just be another name for the same god. But she was basically based off of that. I mean, she isn't that deity, but it's more of she links in with that deity in that. My world, which I have created and looked after for so long, has very strict regulations of magic and all this stuff. I have like tons of magic lore for my little creative world and all the worlds within it, and some of the creatures in there gain their power through spirits, basically, and gods and deities. And Glory actually gets her power from this Mansa deity god. I don't know why it made her purple. I think I just like the colour purple and just made that as a scheme. I think it's more that she likes the colour purple, so she made herself purple. One day she might make herself yellow or blue, just because she feels like it. It's the kind of thing she is. But as it stands, she is basically imbued with magic through this god. There or thereabouts. It looks like she's got a bit of a mohawk here, which wasn't really what I was going for. My poor little brush. It's not being used in the correct way. But I can't stop using it. It's so tiny. I love it. Should have discovered it ages ago. I've had these brushes for years, and I've only recently had a clear out and found them all. I mean, I think I've kind of like, this one is very screwed up. I've cut it to smithereens because it's just like frayed around the edges, and I thought, oh, I can cut that so the frays don't really get in the way. It didn't work. I thought I was being clever. I think I just made it worse. So, it's not the best one. Anyway, sorry for getting sidetracked. So yeah, what was I saying? She gets her power from this deity. But also this deity gets something out of return. This deity gets to live in her body. That's kind of like the deal she's got. Like Glory isn't. Now you might wonder why anyone would pick someone who is just like a happy-go-lucky kid kind of person. I mean, you might not, but I kind of would. Because Glory isn't exactly the most sensible character I have. But the answer behind that is that God did not pick her specifically. At least my God did. 40 minutes. So yeah, I need to stretch when I'm like crouched, hunched over. I do have an easel, but I tried it the other day. I didn't really like it at that time. Like, I do like easels for painting, but one, it wouldn't work for this. You wouldn't be able to see anything because I haven't got a proper web camera. It's just my laptop bent over. And two, I can't be asked to set anything up. I guess I could set up my laptop behind me. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting there. We've got a bit more detail on the face. But we are getting there, eventually. This is the part where I give up, but I must keep going. But I'm so rambly. I was getting into Glory's backstory. How she's got the spirit of a god. I'm trying to do it simply because I tend to like unravel when I get into backstories because there is so much. Because I've been working on this kind of stuff for years, so I have so much like just general background in my worlds. Like, I don't make fan OCs of things much anymore, if at all, like I used to when I was younger. So I just make characters, but I love making characters. That's making characters and making worlds and concept and creation is like my favourite part about drawing. Like, I'm not the best drawer. I know that. I know people who can draw so much better than me, but I don't really care about that because the thing I like most isn't the actual, like, putting it onto the paper, but it is just the creation of the thing in the first place. I like getting it down onto paper because then I've got, like, something solid and I can show people to go, like, here, this is my idea, this is what I imagine. But I'm not so bothered whether it doesn't look absolutely perfect. I mean, I'd like it to look absolutely perfect. That's never going to happen. But, well, it might do if I work a bit harder. But I love the whole, here, this is my world. Look at what I can make. I just added some brown into that paint so I could do something that wasn't purple for her. But yeah, so I like making these worlds. So it's hard to describe what Gory's backstory without going into the laws of the worlds which I have made. I need a bigger brush. So, like, for one, Gory's something which in my world is called a Magnus, which means her soul is bonded with, well, not her soul, but her, basically her being alive, her existence is bonded to this other being, and that is where her magic comes from. So her magic comes from being bonded to this deity. But obviously how she got bonded to that deity, because Glory was actually bonded to her deity when she was a child. She's always had these powers. She's never not had them. Sorry, I'm just doodling a circle because why the hell not? She's always had these powers. Shape-shifting, poison. I guess I haven't really gone into what she can do. She can't probably do that much. I mean, she's very, very strong. That is her main ability, is that she can hit like a truck. That's why she's got massive hands, actually. It's why she's got massive hands, and she's actually quite small, but one of her forms is quite huge. It's because it's kind of like a force mage, I suppose. But yeah, bonded to this deity, Magnus, what else can I say? But so she was bonded as a child, so her backstory is kind of that her parents lived in India, small village, couldn't have children, her parents. This was the problem, and obviously they wanted anyone, to be born so they could, be looked after when they were older, look after their farm. It's only a small village, so it would have probably been passed on to someone, but, you kind of want to keep this stuff in the family. It doesn't show greatly on you if you can't have children, I imagine. Sometimes in those kind of cultures, especially in those small cultures that are still quite old. So they prayed at the local shrine, which it was to this particular god. Now, Lancer is not a fertility god, so I don't really know how it worked. But I always like the ideas of people making deals with their deities. So they prayed to their gods, but they kind of were like, prayed for children. And Glory was their first child. Now, as their first child, they were like super happy. But as also their first child who they prayed for, they gave her to this shrine as like to say thanks. Basically. Thank you. Now, like, I don't imagine her parents being douchebags. I just imagine her being like, not so much given, but like an aliquot. Like, she's a girl, so she's not great to inherit. I imagine it's quite a good way to get rid of a female child, is to basically say, we're gonna put you in, you can be a priestess to this female god, Mensa. So that's what she was, and as part of that, when she was like first in shrine, when she was like a baby, this god invested a spirit into her because it was like child. Probably the best thing to invest in, I imagine. But yeah, that is how she got her powers, and her parents got to have more children. So she actually comes from India, not actually, you can tell that because she is purple. But hey, she is, and that is that. I mean, that's probably as much painting. I can't really do much more on this at the moment for the feeling that would just ruin the paint. Where's my pencil gone? So, but yeah, that's Glory. And all her lovely backstory. Get rid of some of these pencil lines. This I can do upside down because this doesn't matter. And I might do another one of these. I might not. It depends. I might do some friends OCs if they ask for requests. Or I might do nothing at all. Nobody knows. I might get a job and then I won't be able to do it because I won't have enough light in my room in the evenings. Well, I probably would at the moment for summertime. But we'll see. So, thank you for watching. And I've been Marble. And maybe I'll see you again. Bye.